Dan and Jackie Jovic with you here, cutting into programming here due to the severe weather that has blown through our area. Jackie, the good news is that the worst of it is gone and no one has been hurt.
Yeah, that is the good news, but definitely scary moments across the ArkLaTex. We're going to check in right now with Todd Warren. He is standing by. He's going to give us a little bit of an update about, kind of wrap up what's been happening. Todd?
Well, first, Dan and Jackie, I want to give you a review of where we did see the strongest rotations with these thunderstorms, beginning with what we know is the cause of quite a bit of damage over, especially the southern section of Bossier City. Let's take the radar back. This is a 3-hour loop, and I've kind of slowed it down so I'll kind of show you the path of this. About 9:45, we did see rotation develop over the southern sections of Shreveport. There it is right there, and it really intensified as it moved into southeast Shreveport, crossed the river and moved into the southern sections of Bossier City. You'll see this other pass as it comes along again here, and then we saw it pretty much kind of fall apart as it moved into Webster Parish. That was pretty much the strongest of the rotations that we experienced across the area here during the evening hours, but likely did see another decent rotation further to the south and possible tornado here. Watch this location near Nynock, and you'll see this rotation, possible tornado, very close to the Bossier Red River Parish line. That continued to move into Bienville Parish. You'll see it develop right there, and you can see that track as that eventually fell apart near Bienville. We also had a few pretty good rotation near Benton that lasted for about 5-10 minutes, and another quick spin up in Nevada County near Prescott, which lasted for about 10 minutes, and then that kind of fell apart. And of course, other than the possible tornadoes that we may have had across the region, damaging straight line winds resulting in numerous power outages across the region. Quick look at that data here, and you can see that we have seen in the power outage numbers measured in tens of thousands. I'm going to go ahead and stop this and move to the latest data here, and you can see that in Webster Parish over 5,000. Notice the bigger numbers in the more highly populated areas. In Caddo Parish, more than 32,000 customers without power. The wind was strongest here in East Texas and Northwest Louisiana, near and maybe a little south of I-20. You can see the power outages across a good chunk of this part of the ArkLaTex. And look at the percentage basis, and this kind of tells the story. Now, at one point here in East Texas, every single county, minus maybe Harrison County, had 25% or more of the customers without power, and you can see that is still the case here across Northwest Louisiana as the storms have moved through. Now, as far as what we have right now, as Dan and Jackie mentioned, the strongest of the thunderstorms have moved out of the area. So look at the data here from the Shreveport radar, and you can see the strongest of the wind issues have moved over towards Monroe. Now our concern, probably for the next several hours, will be the potential for some flash flooding. I mentioned this during our live coverage that we have the main push of all the wind here, but as I put this in the motion here, you can kind of see that the training which is developed here first in East Texas, and now we're seeing that develop more towards the east here in the southern sections of the ArkLaTex, southern DeSoto Parish, northern Sabine Parish, as well as parts of Red River and northern Natchitoches Parish. We do have flash flood warnings that are currently in effect for those areas. So a quick look at the radar and its estimation of rainfall basically during the last 3 hours, and you can see how the numbers have piled up. I'll stop this and show you the latest data and what the radar is showing, and you can see that the numbers here as in Nacogdoches County. You can see the impressive, this is just during the last 3 hours, so it's quite possible we could see rainfall totals in these areas that could end up being 3, 4, maybe even 5 inches, hence the flash flood warnings that are currently in effect. We'll see this continue for the next several hours. We'll take a bit of a pause, and before I send it back to Dan and Jackie, I want to alert you again that we do have some more possibly on the way for tomorrow. I don't know if I have Futurecast in here, but to show you the latest from the HR model. Let's see if I have the model data. This is a different setup here, but you can see moving forward here, this is Futurecast. So moving this forward during the day tomorrow, we will see again the line of thunderstorms develop here just to the north and west of Shreveport, and that activity likely will strengthen. This is obviously an older version of Futurecast. I'll rack that up, and we will see the line develop right in here and intensify as it moves into northwest Louisiana. And once again, we could be looking at a tornado threat, especially for the eastern half of the ArkLaTex for tomorrow, with that possibility for tornadoes, damaging winds, and maybe even some hail with these particular thunderstorms that are expected across the ArkLaTex for tomorrow. So a quick review is that the severe weather moving out of the ArkLaTex. Now our attention during the rest of the night will focus in on the potential for flash flooding across the southern sections of the ArkLaTex, from Center to Converse to maybe even Mansfield over towards Coshada and the northern sections of Natchitoches Parish. And then we could see another round of severe weather as we look ahead to tomorrow afternoon over the eastern half of the area. Dan and Jackie?
All right, Todd, we really appreciate you keeping everyone safe tonight, keeping everyone abreast of what's been going on. And right now dealing with, as Todd said, the potential for flash flooding, also the outages. I don't know how that's going to be going on for quite some time.
Those are large numbers.
Yeah, SWPCO says 32,000 without power in Caddo, 11,000 without power in Bossier, so it could be quite some time. Our home, there's no power there, and
Right.
Widespread damage, trees down, fences destroyed, so it's going to be a while for cleanup too, I'm sure.
Yeah, Lieutenant Bart Cavanaugh of Bossier City Police talked with our newsroom just a bit ago. He said there is no catastrophic damage, so that's a good thing. But there are going to be trees down, there are going to be limbs down, especially in South Bossier, Golden Meadows, Plantation Trace, those surrounding areas. But one of the areas that was hardest hit this evening is the South Bossier Mobile Home Park. A tree fell onto a mobile home there, piercing the roof of one of the people inside. Let's head out to NBC6's Yalisha Gatewood, who is live at the scene. Yalisha, you responded almost instantaneously. What have you been seeing all night?
Yeah, good evening, Dan and Jackie. So I arrived here on scene between 10:15 and 10:30. When I arrived, we're on Alfred Lane right now. When I arrived on Alfred Lane, as far as the eye can see, I saw tons of debris and about 3 trees have fallen on homes. I mean, just completely from the branches up. As you can see behind me right now, there's a tree completely covering this home. I spoke with the homeowner. She said her and her family were able to get out safe just in the nick of time. Her vehicle is trapped under this tree. About 30 minutes ago, the fire department was out here clearing the roadway. As you can see, the roadway still has debris all across Alfred Lane. I spoke to another homeowner, and he said says that he made it out safe. He was home alone when the tree fell through his home. I spoke to another woman who was actually a EMT, and she made it out of her home safely. No one has been injured from the people that I've talked to so far. It's no power out here. It's completely dark. Another homeowner that I spoke to, they were pulled out of a home through the window because they couldn't make it out of their home because the tree had fallen onto their home. So a lot of these trees have been uprooted and fallen into homes. So there's tons of damage still out here. Like I said before, there's still tons of debris on the road as people trying to pass by on Alfred Lane. The woman that I spoke to, who is the homeowner of the home right here behind me, says that she works from home, so she's just happy that the tree didn't fall on the part of her home where she can still continue her work. And so it's still, it's pretty chilly out here. The temperature has dropped. It's still rainy and everything like that, but everyone that I've spoke to so far has made it out safe, and that's a good deal so far. So reporting here in South Bossier, right here on Alfred Lane, Yalisha Gatewood, back to you guys.
All right, Yalisha, I have a couple questions for you. I know you said you got to talk to a lot of people out there, and they're describing all of the damage. They got out safely. What is their emotional state? Because I can't imagine how terrified I would be and how nervous, and what's the next step. What were they saying to you as far as that goes?
Yeah, the woman that I spoke to, who is the homeowner of this home, said that she was just happy to make it out of the home with her kids. Everyone was okay, no scratches or anything like that. She said other things can be replaced, like, couches, other trinkets and everything like that can be replaced. The people that I spoke with said they're just happy to make it out alive, and other things can be replaced.
Alicia, the gentleman that you shared a video with earlier who had the limbs pierce the roof of his home, he could have been sleeping in that bed and he wasn't. He's got to be very thankful this evening that the Lord was looking after him and had him in a different portion of that home when the tree came down.
Yeah, Dan, when I spoke to him, he said he was just happy to be alive. He said he was sitting on his couch when the tree fell through his home. He was a little bit shaken up. He said it was very loud. The house kind of rumbled a little bit when the tree hit the home. He said he was just happy to make it out alive. He spoke with his family, loved ones, and they're glad that he's okay too.
Now, all of them leaving their homes. I know the Bossier Parish, Bossier Civic Center, yes,
right,
yes,
yeah.
in the city. They've set up a shelter for temporarily displaced residents. Where did these people say that they were going to go? Were they going to be with family, or were they going to go to the shelter?
So from the people that I spoke with, that they're clearing the scene. I've been here. I haven't left the scene since I arrived. But the people who have been affected with the trees of falling onto their homes and such have left here and met with other family members. I know that there's a command post nearby that they can go to get shelter and other items that they may need.
All right, Alicia Gatewood reporting live in Bossier. Thank you very much, Alicia. From the South Bossier Mobile Home Park, that area was hit very hard by the storms that blew through our area tonight. Alicia, thank you. Jackie, Todd and I were doing the newscast on Fox tonight during the 9 o'clock hour, and the storms were rolling through Tyler at that point. And Todd mentioned to me off camera, he says about 25%, 26% of Tyler is currently without power. So we knew it was going to be a doozy at that point, moving eastward at about 50 plus miles an hour. And sure enough, that same storm system with that intensity hit us.
Yeah, and a lot of it happened through the south part of our area too. Southern Hills, the possible rotation started there, yeah. So they had lots of storm damage, and then moved through other parts of South Shreveport by our home, and then South Bossier where Alicia was. So a lot of the southern part of the area got hit hard. Bossier Parish also reporting that there was some damage along Old Plain Dealing Road in Benton, so parts of North Bossier hit hard. They responded to several storms, damaged areas with downed trees in Benton, Houghton, and of course South Bossier, which we just showed you there.
Yeah, and the good news, as we mentioned right off the top, no one was injured badly this evening, because it could have been a whole lot worse than it was. So thankfully there's no one who has a loss of life. Things that can be replaced will be replaced ultimately by the storm damage. You don't like to see that, but the loss of life is the worst possible thing out there. So as we wrap up here on NBC6, we want to let you know that Todd did make mention that there are flooding concerns to the south and to the east of us. So if you do live in those areas, just know the worst of it has passed, but you're going to be dealing with heavy rain throughout the duration of the evening.
Yeah, and if you haven't already, download the Your Weather Authority app. I got plenty of alerts, even though we were safe here at the station, yes. But just so you know what's happening and you can keep your family safe. That'll do it for us.